Yeah, it's a podcast. That's what we're doing.
Are we doing a podcast today?
We're doing a podcast
I'm never sure what we're doing.
Sometimes we just don't know. But today it is a podcast.
Today is a podcast.
Today's a podcast day.
It's a podcast. Okay, what is happening here?
Where are we?
Glix, give us a situation report.
Currently, we are on the planet Geekery. Be warned, our impossibility drive may cause distortions as we traverse this land. Impending impossibility engaging in 3, 2, 1.
Hello, devoted geeks, and welcome to episode 53 of Comm Talk, the podcast extension of Geek Devotions, the YouTube show from devoted geeks who are devoted to letting people know that they are loved. I am Dallas, and with me is...
Celeste! As you listen to this podcast, please interact with us. Send us your thoughts on what we are saying via Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. You can find us by simply looking up Geek Devotions. And do us a favor, leave a review on Apple Podcast comments, and perhaps you can be our devoted geek of the month.
All right, cool beans. I forgot to look up if there are any comments on iTunes. Oh. So while I pull that up, I'll just let everybody know that this is a live recording of our show. We're streaming this straight to Twitch, and it's always exciting to be able to do this because we have people in the chat room, and we're going to be responding to them as we go today. So right now we have a couple of really cool people. You guys may be familiar if you're in our comment section at all on a regular basis,
or even a semi-regular basis.
Right? You'll see these guys. You see Francisco of Retro Rewind Podcast and Dale. Both of them are regularly in our comment section. We appreciate them so much.
Yes, we do.
So pulling up our podcast.
Yeah, it's a podcast. That's what we're doing.
Are we doing a podcast today?
We're doing a podcast.
I'm never sure what we're doing.
Sometimes we just don't know. But today it is a podcast.
Today is a podcast.
Today's a podcast day.
It's a podcast.
Dale goes, recorded in front of a live virtual audience. And Retro goes, Dale's comments are the ones that are way more in-depth and substantive.
True story.
Yes.
All right. Yep, no new comments.
Dale makes us think.
So we wasted time. All right, so.
We shall edit it all out.
All out. All right. Okay, so we have traversed the space-time continuum. Glix, where are we right now?
This week our impossibility drive has brought us to the land of holidays. We appear to be stuck in between holiday seasons. This is partially due to our inability to properly plan out this podcast. I really need to develop a strategic planning program for you too. To navigate through this area, we will need to accomplish 2 objectives. First, we will need to discuss the American holiday, Thanksgiving, and what we are thankful for. Second, we will need to discuss why we celebrate Christmas and plans for this upcoming Christmas season.
Hey, Celeste.
Yeah?
Remind me to fix Glix's coding for her sassiness.
But I like it. I just think she's been hanging out with calculus over at Retro too
That's
much.
Probably it.
She's picking up some of the sassy moo.
Sassy moo. All right, so let's get into this. As Glix said, we're going to be talking about some holiday stuff. We're going to be talking about Thanksgiving and what we're thankful for, and then we're going to have a little commercial break, and then we'll do talk about Christmas season stuff. All right, so let's talk about Thanksgiving. What is Thanksgiving? What are we doing for Thanksgiving? Or what has happened for Thanksgiving? Celeste, what are your thoughts on Thanksgiving?
I like Thanksgiving. It is one of my favorite holidays to decorate for because I like to decorate for random holidays. It makes me feel like I'm accomplishing something.
Right.
I'm winning at the adultness sometimes.
Yay.
At least when it comes to decorating.
Right.
But no, I really enjoy it. It's one of those things that it's a day specifically to be grateful.
Yeah.
So I know a lot of people don't do that. And it's kind of become commercialized and it kind of gets ignored. But I still love it and I still am thankful. And I'm still remembering to be thankful specifically on that day.
Right. Our other AI that we use on a regular basis, outside Glix, Google, the future overlord of the universe, says Thanksgiving, United States, is a national holiday celebrated on the 4th Thursday in November. It originated as a harvest festival The event that Americans commonly call the first Thanksgiving was celebrated by the Pilgrims after their first harvest in the New World on October 1621. And so that's kind of the historical aspect of Thanksgiving. Obviously, there's a lot to it. There's a lot of things that take place. I think you're right, though. It is a very commercial thing. And unfortunately, it's happened to a lot of holidays.
It has.
Christmas, Thanksgiving, they've become very, very commercialized. I'd be curious to hear, guys, in the chat, real quick. We'll answer it, or we'll read your comments. What is your favorite aspect of Thanksgiving on a regular basis? But yeah, so Celeste, what is it about Thanksgiving, though, specifically, that you actually enjoy?
I'm not sure I can pin it down.
Why is that?
Well, it's one of those things of, like, I don't know. I've always enjoyed the not the story, but the history behind it. Because it's not a story, it actually happened.
Right.
I enjoy hearing about these people who were near starvation and then they were celebrating their friendship.
Right.
And that, it's nice to have a day specifically for Thanksgiving, like specifically to be thankful. As Christians, we're called to be thankful every day. We're called to be thankful for everything. But to have a day set aside just to be thankful for family, for friends, for some really good food.
Yes.
For some not really good food, depending on who's cooking. It's nice to have that, and it's nice that it's a collective thing. I enjoy the aspect of, a friend of ours posted on Instagram, there's no need to post your food on Instagram. We all ate the same thing. But I kind of enjoy that. The group, everybody ate the same thing. There's some variations on it, but it's not like, I don't know. It feels nicer, I guess.
Right.
Like I don't go Black Friday shopping, and I definitely don't go shopping on Thursdays.
Right.
On Thanksgiving. So, no, I have gone shopping on a Thursday, but not on Thanksgiving. So, I don't have to deal with rude people. So, it's nice to be around people who are nicer.
Absolutely. Francisco brought up, says it feels like we are all part of the same community. And it really is.
Yeah.
When there is this common aspect of the holiday, it does feel like we're all in kind of the same community. A lot of people, they talk about, no matter where you're at, I mean, people are watching the Macy Day Parade, or they're watching the one that takes place in Chicago. People are doing all these things. We're all eating the same thing. We're all eating turkey.
Yeah.
Or ham.
Unless you're one of those rebels. Just because.
Just because.
Just because.
And so...
I think he was actually trying to sum up what I was trying to say.
Oh, yeah. So Francisco, also from Retro Rewind Pod, says this: Thanksgiving is a great day to play board games with family if they are up to it.
Yeah,
and I think that's a big part of it. Is that it does feel like a family event. I remember years past, everyone going over to one of my aunt's house, and everyone's brought some sort of aspect. They've all added to the thing. I feel like that's the real spirit of Thanksgiving: is everyone's added to the event. Everyone's taking part in it, and I have a story about everyone taking part in it for our Christmas section, obviously, but that really is an aspect of it that I think people miss or they don't get sometimes.
Yeah. Well, and it's especially since I've been adulting, it's nice to have a day off and just be with family.
Mm-hmm.
We don't get to see either of our families near as often as we would like to.
Right.
And so I definitely don't get to see my grandmother as often as I would like to. So that's an aspect that I'm always enjoyed. That, I know for a fact that she is going to come out into the dining room and visit with us and see us and talk to us.
Right.
Because she's older.
Right.
And so it's not always easy for her. But it's one of those things that it's just something that I look forward to. I look forward to spending the whole day with you. That doesn't happen terribly often.
It really doesn't.
When we don't have stuff to do.
Yes.
That's the key. I enjoy spending the day with you when we have things to do, but it's like real relaxed. Like this last Thanksgiving, we ate lunch with your mom and sister, and then we chilled.
Right.
And then we came home and chilled for a few minutes, and then went to my parents' house. And it was all very relaxed. And we got to hang out all day without having to stress and worry about things. And not necessarily we stress all the time, but I mean, when you have a list of things to do, you're worried about that list, not about enjoying the company around you.
Exactly. So, what?
Apparently, Retro thinks we're cute.
Oh, thank you. All right, so what are we thankful for? We didn't really do this last year with our podcast or even our episode. I think we did this a couple years ago.
We did it the first year, and I regretted it instantly.
Regretted what?
We did the every day. We were doing a post of what we were thankful for, and I was just like, "Oh, I'm done." Yeah,
that was one of those things that we had to work on being pre-planned for. So, all right. So, what are we thankful for? What this past year have we been thankful for 2018? Provision.
God has provided a lot for us this year through Geek Devotions, personally. I mean, there's been multiple things that have happened that would not have happened if God had not intervened.
Absolutely. It really has been one of those things where he's really stepped in and taken care of us in miraculous ways, and we continue to see that provision take place in different places. Let's see who's that. Samurai Jim, love the Star Wars t-shirt, Dallas. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. Dale says, family, food, football, the 3 F's to Thanksgiving. Love it.
We don't do the football thing, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, I watch soccer.
That's football.
Football. No, but but yeah, provision's definitely been a big part of our life this past year, and we're super thankful for it. I'm really thankful for our friends that we have, like the guys in the chat here, Dale, Retro Rewind Pod, Samurai Jim. I'm thankful for people that are in our lives that support us, encourage us.
Yeah.
This past year, we did something new that I don't think people realized was as scary of a thing as it was for us. That was, we started a Patreon page.
It still makes me nervous.
Like it is. It's like we've created this avenue for people to purposefully create an avenue for people to support us on a regular basis to help us do what we do here, and it's a scary thing to do, to be honest. It's kind of putting ourselves out there. We're asking people to support us, and you and I both come from a mindset that we don't like asking for help.
Right.
We're afraid of taking advantage of people. We're afraid of people feeling like we're just needy and we're trying to take advantage of them.
Right.
But
because we don't want to be accidentally manipulative, and that's a thing. Yeah.
And so we're really, really careful about that. That being said, we're thankful for our devoted geeks.
Yes.
We have Retro Rewind Pod is a devoted geek. We have Erin Straus is a devoted geek. We have Cody McGurk, Jonathan Gilbert. There's somebody else in there, and my brain just stopped. Adam Arciniega is one, and we're so thankful for all the devoted geeks that have decided, hey, we're going to be devoted Patreon geeks. We're going to support you on a monthly basis, and it's really an encouragement to us, and that's the reason why we're doing what we're doing with the daily content we've been putting out on YouTube.
Yes.
The lunch break reviews,
which might be why we flooded YouTube. But
because they helped support us, and they were using the content they gave us. So, but it's been a really cool journey to have them partner with us. I'm also thankful for other people who support us on a regular basis that maybe they're not a devoted Patreon geek, but they support us in so many other ways.
Oh yeah. We mentioned in a live stream at one point, somebody had told me at church the night before that they were proud of us.
Yeah.
And that particular couple has been very supportive of us, and they don't have a lot, so they don't support us financially, but we know they're praying for us. We know they love us. We know that they would do everything and anything they can for us.
Right.
And so it's nice to have that support as well.
Yeah, exactly. And we've had other people that have supported us in just a variety of ways, just encouraged us. Again, these people in the chat, they've always encouraged us on a regular basis. We've had people like Josh, who are Victims and Villains. Him and his bride have been very supportive of us of what we do.
They're so fun.
And they are very fun. Our friends from Geeks Under Grace, who have they've been super supportive of us. Our friend LJ, he's putting out a monthly video for us on a regular basis.
Yes.
Victims and Villains put out a regular video for us on a regular basis. We have other friends in Geeks Under Grace that are always there for us, always encouraging. I'll never forget this past year. It's hard to say this. It's not a pleasure, but basically I did a funeral for the first time.
Yeah. And
I wasn't entirely sure what to do, what to say. My senior pastor was out of town, so it was hard to connect with him and figure out what's going on. And so I was like, well, I have an idea. And so I actually contacted a buddy of mine, and I pulled from several sources. I talked to my senior pastor, talked to our associate pastor, but a buddy of ours, Colby, from Geeks Under Grace, who has been a senior pastor. He's been a youth pastor. He's done several funerals. Saying, man, can you help me out here? What do you do? What do you say in a funeral? Yeah. And it was a blind, like I didn't know this family at all.
We know like 3 people we know one family within the larger family.
Yeah. And like, I didn't know the person that passed away at all. And so he gave me some tips and everything. And I appreciated the community we have developed with these people. They've encouraged us and they've helped us in some very real ways, just supportive of emotionally. They've supported us financially. They've supported us mentally sometimes.
Yeah. Emotionally. So it's nice to have people online or in person that when you're going through a rough time. Yeah. That you can call them and they're praying.
Word.
Like, they don't even have to pray right then in front of you. You just know that they are praying for you.
I also appreciate when we get, like, random comments from people. Like, we get random comments from... this past week, we got a message from a couple who's been coming to our Devoted Geek Togethers.
Yes. And randomly getting on and liking everything on Facebook.
Yeah. Everything. Randomly jump on. I'm like, oh, okay. But... I've so appreciated the comment. They sent us one. Is just, hey, thanks so much for making this feel like a family to us. Yeah. We only see them once a month. We only see them during the Devoted Geek Togethers. Yeah. But we've created an environment, and it makes me proud of what we've done. Is because that's where we're trying to make, like, this is a family event. This is we're not just strangers hanging out, but we're geeks together. We're together in all this stuff. Exactly.
I really like what Dale wrote about what he was thankful for. Mm-hmm. Which I don't have access to it because my phone died.
Is this right here?
But he said, well, it was part of that. I was actually going to combine the comments.
Up here?
He said he was thankful for presents.
Mm-hmm.
Not the presents you put under the tree because someone tried to make a joke about that. But thankful for that. Where did it go?
It's right there.
Okay. Thankful for those that put the gifts under the tree.
Word.
Thankful for the presence of family, church family, friends, and especially new friends.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So yeah, I really appreciate that. The way you put that, Dale.
That's really a great way of putting that, Dale. Absolutely. And so those are the things we're thankful for here at Geek Devotions. And we randomly have 5 viewers. Hello, 5 viewers.
Hello, 5 viewers.
We're doing a live recording of our podcast, just so you guys know. All right, so we're going to cut to a commercial break here in a second. When we come back from our commercial break, we're going to be talking about the Christmas season and why we celebrate it, what we look forward to it, and what we're doing here at Geek Devotions. So, those of you listening online to the podcast, hang loose.
Welcome to Victims and Villains. This is the channel where we talk nerd, we talk hope, and we speak nothing else. I'm your host, Captain Nostalgia, and I'm so glad that you are here to join us.
Victims and Villains is a podcast and YouTube channel that marries pop culture and suicide prevention, producing content with the intent to let people know that there is hope and that there is a better way, and that each and every listener has value and worth.
Listen to Victims and Villains on your favorite podcast catcher or on YouTube by searching for Victims and Villains. Also, check out their website, victimsandvillains.net. All right, and we are back from our commercial break. Appreciate you guys hanging out with us today as we talk about holiday seasons. We talked about Thanksgiving, what we were thankful for, what it's all about and everything. And now we're going to be talking about the Christmas season and what it's all about for us as for our family, who we are. We know that there's a lot of people that Christmas, it means different things to them. Some of them hold to some different beliefs than us, and that's groovy, and we respect them and honor them in every way possible. But we're talking about for us as individuals, how do we celebrate Christmas? What does it mean to us? Why do we do it? And all that good stuff. So let's get into this conversation. What is Christmas? Christmas is for us, it's a time for us to, what's the word I'm looking for? Honor the birth of Christ, the birth of Jesus, the Messiah. I understand there's a lot of historical conversation, arguments about this time period, whether or not Jesus was actually born during this time frame or not. The reality of things is this: it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
From a historical church view, Christmas is not something that was widely celebrated. The resurrection was widely celebrated by the church in early church days, but the birth of Jesus was not. So it's not a hill to die on for me as to whether or not Jesus was actually born on December 25th or not. What is a hill for me to die on is whether or not we're honoring the birth of Jesus. Yeah. And now, a buddy of ours from another podcast, the Reformed Anime Hub, he made a post and on his group, and it was a great post talking about, he's like, look, I know you guys are all doing this. For me personally, I don't, and that's all cool. He's not celebrating Christmas. Okay. He doesn't see it as a thing that needs to be celebrated. And somebody asked him about it, and he goes, look, I celebrate the incarnation of our Savior on a daily basis, and that's cool. Yeah. I completely really respect that. And as long as you're doing that, mazel. But it's cool in my mindset for us to have a specific day to go, hey, like, we're going to really focus in on this aspect today. Now, the rest of the stuff that comes with Christmas, again, there's all kinds of arguments about it. The Christmas tree's pagan, it's not pagan, all this stuff. To me, I say chill out. Yeah. Just chill out, guys.
Well, it's one of those things that, for me at least, it's more about tradition. Mm-hmm. Like tradition. Christmas is more about tradition for me. Like I agree with can I say his name? Yeah. Okay. I agree with Ramon that I celebrate the incarnation of Christ just into a human on a daily basis. Right. But at the same time, there's something about honoring traditions. Right. There's something about hanging stockings. Like, I still have my stocking that I've had since I was a year old. Oh, because I am sentimental. And because to me, it's a part of Christmas. Like, if it's not hung, it's not Christmas. Right. So, it's, I enjoy the different things. We're going tomorrow with some friends to look at Christmas lights. I love Christmas lights because they're beautiful. And it's one of those things of, it's something that I enjoy doing because I have good memories of doing it. Mm-hmm. Like, if I was someone who had not good memories of Christmas, I probably would not enjoy it, and it wouldn't be that big of a deal for me, and I respect that for other people. Right. But for me, it was always a good time of year. Yeah. There's always a bit of magic in the air, it felt like. Absolutely.
Dale, he's in the chat here on Twitch, and he says this: we celebrate the gift that God gave us, His Son. And absolutely, that's a lot of what we do for this season. So, what do you put up? Good luck. I hope a lot of people are lit up. All right.
It's one of those things that you pay to get in. Yeah. So it's going to be lit up.
Anyways, but yeah, there is this dichotomy of it for us. Yeah. Especially as Americans. You and I were not necessarily raised as a super strict, hard mainline Christian mindset where it's only about Jesus. We were both raised with the concept of Santa Claus. Yes. We were both raised with the concept of gifts and giving to each other and everything. Yeah. And honestly, I don't see a problem with the gift giving.
Right.
The Santa Claus thing, it is one of those things that you and I will have to discuss down the road as we have children, how we're going to accomplish that. I don't necessarily have issues with the tradition of Santa Claus. I think with our kids, we'll have to teach, hey, this is a tradition. There was a man named Nicholas. We called him Saint Nicholas.
Yeah.
Or the Catholics call him Saint Nicholas. And that's how we get Santa Claus. And he was known for two things, slapping heretics and giving gifts. That's
awesome. I didn't know he slapped heretics.
Yeah.
Santa just got so much better.
Santa was hardcore, man. He was hardcore. And
more like the Guardians of the... Wait.
What?
Not Guardians of the Galaxy. What's the Guardians Christmas movie where Santa's like buff and has...
Oh, yeah. I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't remember.
Like naughty and nice on his fists. Like he was more like that.
So, but I'm a fan of teaching our kids who Saint Nicholas really was. Again, I don't know. I say Saint Nicholas out of habit and tradition. We don't necessarily teach or practice the quote unquote sainthood as taught by the Catholic Church. That being said, they're fun traditions, and I think there is a levity of that. It's like we're here, we're enjoying it, but there's core things to the Christmas season I think is important for us to grab hold of. Again, it is the aspect of we're here to honor the birth of Jesus.
Yes.
This last couple of years for you and I, we had our first Christmas together. We sat down and we read the birth of Jesus in the scriptures. And that was the first thing in the morning. We read that together because that's the focus for us, is we're honoring the birth of our Savior.
Yeah.
And the second thing that for us is the concept of family.
Yeah.
And us being with our family, doing family traditions, everyone taking part in some of the family stuff.
Yes, just like I will be making carrot bread later this month.
Yes!
Or zucchini bread, depending on which one your sister wants to make.
Yes!
Because heaven help us if we don't have it.
Gotta have carrot bread and zucchini bread for Christmas, guys.
Bad things will happen.
Right? So as far as the Christmas stuff, Celeste, what are some fundamental Christmas things that are for you, like from your family and your childhood?
Looking at Christmas lights.
Mm-hmm.
We always did that. Like, I have memories. For someone who has a not great memory, I have ridiculously early memories as a child. So I can remember I was like maybe 4 or 5.
Mm-hmm.
I was big enough to not be in a booster seat, but I was super short. And so my mom had just taken me out of the booster seat. I was probably closer to 5. Now that I'm thinking about it. But I can remember us going through the neighborhoods, and all of a sudden she looked back and realized I was crying. And she's like, "Why are you crying?" "Because I can't see." So she stopped the car, got the booster seat out of the car, and put me back in it, because I was little enough that I fit. Right. I was a really runty kid.
Right.
But, I mean, so the going and looking at the Christmas lights is a thing. Dale put in the comments that he thought we were just going around through the city, and that's something that we've instituted together, is that you and I go as like a Christmassy date, and we go and look at the lights and drink hot chocolate and all that fun stuff. But that was I distinctly remember that was something we did almost every year.
Yeah, that's really cool. I like that a lot.
That and had Chex Mix.
Chex Mix. For us, I a lot of it was for us as a family was just cooking together. We had our traditions, and a lot of our traditions are similar. You and I, the opening the gift the night before, which was always
pajamas.
Always pajamas. And I was talking to my mom. I remember years ago. I was like, "Why is it that the night before the Christmas Eve gift is always pajamas? Why did you always do this?" She goes, "So that you'd have nice clothes for the pictures on Christmas morning."
Yes.
I was like, "Oh,
that makes sense.
That makes sense."
Yes, that's exactly why.
Oh my goodness. So, but there was that whole aspect, the Christmas Eve stuff, looking at the lights and everything. I have at my mom's house a nutcracker, and this is part of my mom's Christmas decorations since I was a little kid. 2 nutcrackers, and we got them after Mom took Tamara and I to go see the Nutcracker.
Yes.
The actual ballet. It was awesome. It was really cool. And so taped underneath those nutcrackers that we got ages ago in Corpus Christi is the actual ticket stubs from seeing it and seeing it. So it was pretty neat.
Yeah.
But again, part of our stuff is cooking together.
Yes.
for Thanksgiving and Christmas for years and years, we smoked turkeys. Now we changed that because when you smoke turkey, you're supposed to do an hour per pound. So when you're doing a 20-pound bird, you start the night before. And so
Santa Claus does not appreciate you being awake smoking a turkey.
And my mom got tired of it. So we changed that. I think we do steak now.
Yes.
That's our Christmas day.
I like how you say I think. No, y'all do steak. That is a...
No, I think we just got tired of it all. But anyways, so we do steak now. But it was the whole cooking process. But one of the things my mom used to do that I thought was really, really cool, and I want to do this with our own kids when we have some, is when Demar and I were young, she wanted us to feel like we're part of the celebration.
Right.
And part of the preparation for the meal. So my mom has this stupid, easy cherry pie recipe.
It is so good.
It is such a good pie.
It is not what I think of when you say cherry pie, but it is really good.
Right. And so, but it's simple enough where Demar and I could help out as kids and put everything together. And we each had our own pie that we put together. It was just a neat tradition. So we felt like we were part of the process. And again, that's what I feel like a lot about these two holidays, Thanksgiving, Christmas. It's they have their own aspects that are very specific for us as Christians, giving thanks and then honoring the birth of our Savior. But at the same time, one of the bridges there is the aspect that these should be holidays that bring families together.
Yes.
Where everyone's taking part in something and doing things together. And I love that aspect so much. Dale, he posted up in the chat. Can you read that, Celeste?
Okay, Dale says, as a child, Christmas was about Christmas tunes, movies, putting up Christmas lights and seeing other people's lights, and going to Grandma's, seeing fireworks get blasted, and like Thanksgiving a month before, lots of food. And the music. There was always a lot of music together.
Yeah, a lot of music.
That's fun.
That's really good. That's good stuff, Dale. I like hearing that, man. All right, so the next question we need to ask ourselves, Celeste, is what are we doing for Christmas as Geek Devotions?
We're doing Geekmas all month long.
We are. We did this last year.
Yes, we did.
And it was a little different than the approach we took this year.
Yeah.
Last year we were asking, we took several movies and we go, are these Christmas movies? Why or why not? And I think only one of them was one that universally everyone agrees on, and that was The Santa Claus with Tim Allen. The other ones were Nightmare Before Christmas. We had Die Hard. We had Batman Returns. And we also had Star Trek Nemesis.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, and so we had all these in place. We interviewed some really cool people for them. They helped us out. It was a huge benefit having them on our podcast. This year we're doing things a little bit differently. What are we doing specifically for Geekmas 2018? I said Greekmas. What the heck? Geekmas 2018.
I was going to make my big fat Greek wedding joke, but it's been so long since I've seen it, I can't. Give me a word. Any word. Okay. So for this year, we're doing the classics. We just released an episode yesterday.
I think we need to define what classic is, because some people for classics it's like we're doing White Christmas.
Oh.
Yeah.
No, animated claymation classics.
For the most part.
We'll
get into the most part later. All right, so we just did which one?
We just did Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Yes.
Which I'm kind of excited, which I don't think I actually told you this, but my mom wrote a devotion similar to what you did.
Oh, really?
Several years. Like, I was a young teenager.
Oh, that's neat.
And they made her get up and tell it in front of the church. Which, if you know my mother, you know that
she was terrified.
She
was terrified.
So, I can't mean to tell you that as you were talking about your topic. But it's pretty similar.
That's pretty cool.
So, that was cool.
Mm-hmm.
Clearly, he did not take from my mother.
Negatory.
Hello, Babylunga?
Babylunga. Hello.
If I missaid your name, I'm so sorry.
We're sorry.
We are recording a live podcast right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we did Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
We are doing...
Are you doing Frosty the Snowman, or are you doing Santa Comes Town? No, not Frosty the Snowman. That wasn't claymation. Santa Comes Town. And then what was the other one we have?
Little Drummer Boy.
Little Drummer Boy, that's right.
I'm not doing Little Drummer Boy.
Okay, I guess you're doing Santa Comes Town.
I do not. I have a distaste for Little Drummer Boy because the song has been so overplayed.
Right. So, but that's the thing. And we're trying to work out some stuff. I'm not sure if we're going to have a guest spot for this month or not.
Maybe not.
All I know is for sure is this. One of our devotions is going to be controversial. We are going to be... You got a really nice beard.
Well, thank you.
One of our episodes is going to be controversial because we're going to be doing a Star Wars Christmas special.
I'm not looking forward to this.
We will be doing a devotion based off a Star Wars Christmas special.
I'm not looking forward
it's
to
going
this.
to be interesting to say the very least. The very, very least. So here, Dale says, today on Christmas Eve, my wife celebrates Christmas with her family. Then from that person's house to our house, we see Christmas lights. Then the next day, we celebrate Christmas with my dad's family. That's pretty cool, man. I like that. All right. So that's what we're doing for Geekmas 2018. We're doing these classic ones and then a controversial one.
Yes. And then we will be doing one more podcast at the end, and then maybe a special one. We've been talking about it, but we haven't made decisions yet. So you may get a bonus podcast.
You might. We do want to encourage you guys. We're going to be sending out a special digital Christmas card to those of you on our email list. If you'd like to be part of that, visit our website, geekdevotions.com, and you can sign up for the digital our newsletter, basically. There, we're not going to spam people. We're only sending stuff out once, maybe twice a month.
Right.
What are you laughing at?
Dale says, "Why torture Celeste with something so controversial?"
Because we're gluttons for punishment, there, Dale.
It's one of those things. If I kind of want to watch it, but I don't know about that.
So I have a tendency to want to watch the bad, cheesy movies,
the B-rated movies.
Yes, and this is my problem.
This is something I signed up for, guys.
Right.
I knew this when I married him.
Babaloonga, you have a heart and then a 10. Are you giving us 10 hearts? Is that what's happening? Or I'm confused.
Maybe it's Captain Planet.
Captain Planet. No, but one of the ideas I've had in the tank since we started Geek Devotions, I mean since the inception of Geek Devotions, is to do a series where we break down and watch all the bad, cheesy superhero films and try to discover which is the worst. The problem is me coming up with a grading system on how to do that, how to rate things. And so if somebody wants to help me with figure that out, let me know. It's just a matter of us doing it. Yeah. So, all right.
Some of those we will welcome guests so that I don't have to watch them.
Dale says, make her watch Robot Chicken. She'll change her mind. Well, maybe.
I've watched some Robot Chicken when we have cable in hotel rooms.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think we're rambling now. We're going to go ahead and end this podcast.
We're rambling.
We encourage you guys, make sure you check out all of our social media. We're on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Just look for Geek Devotions. We're there. And all that good stuff. So, all right, Celeste.
Thank you so much for taking the time to listen to Comm Talk today. If you have loved this episode, head on over to Apple Podcasts to subscribe, rate, and leave a review.
Yeah.
It is very much appreciated. So until, not the next Sunday, but the next, stay devoted.
Peace and love.